everyone. It's Monday, April 27th, and we are working on Envisions 12-3, comparing decimals. And here's our place value chart. So we did this on Friday, and we're going to do it again today. We're going to use bigger numbers today. All right, so if you see, I have two different numbers in my place value chart. The first one, 321 and 58 hundredths. So 321 and 58 hundredths. My next number is 345 and 67 hundredths. So when we compare numbers, we have to figure out what column, like what number are we actually looking at. So usually when we talk about numbers, we always go from the smallest place value onto the biggest. But actually, when we compare numbers, we want to start at the opposite end. We want to start at the biggest place value. So in this case, our biggest place value is hundreds. So if I look in the hundreds column, I'm going to say, oh, here's a 3 and here's a 3. So 3, is it greater than, less than, or equal to 3? So in this case, it is equal to. So both these obviously are the same number. So that's not going to help us. Now we're going to go to the tens column. Oh, and look here. This number has a 2 in the tens column, and this number has a 4 in the tens column. So is 2 greater than, less than, or equal to 4? And you would say 2 is less than 4. So if I was to write this, so then we don't even have to continue. We found our column, it's our tens column, and we found it that the 2 is less than the 4, so we know that this top number is less than the bottom number. So we would write 321 and 58 hundredths is less than 345 and 67 hundredths. That's it. You find the column that you can use to compare. So let's try another example. So I'm going to change it up. And I'm gonna make it a little bit different this time. So let's say we have 528 and 17 hundredths. My next number is going to be 79 and 89 hundredths. So now let's look here. We're going to go to the hundreds column. That's where we're going to start with. We always start with the largest column when we are comparing. But now this number has a number in the hundreds column, and this one has nothing. So how would we compare that? Well, there are no hundreds. There are 0 hundreds. There's none. So 5 would be greater than 0. So then the top number right away is going to be 528 and 17 hundredths is greater than 79 and 89 hundredths. So that's what you do when there's not a number in that place. All right, so I have some examples. All right, so let's look at our place value blocks. And our first one, we know that there's 10 here. And let's see how many are colored in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5 tenths or 5 tenths. And then we have 10, 20, 30. They're all filled in. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So we have 35 hundredths. Now we did this on Friday, and that's our decimal. So remember, we can't compare fractions that have different denominators, right? This has a 10, this has 100. We have to have them have the same denominator. So we're going to multiply, same number, top and bottom. So what times 10 equals 100? John?
10.
That's my husband there. And he would be right. Good job, John. So we have 100 here. 5 times 10 is? Go ahead, John. You're the only
100?
5 times 10.
Oh, 5 times 10 would be
And
50.
you got it wrong. 50. Okay, so 5/10 is the same as 50 hundredths. And 50 hundredths, now we can check our place value columns, remember? So going back to our place value chart, we always go to the biggest column first. So in this case, it's the tenths column. I have a 5 in this tenths column, and I have a 3 in this tenths column. So 5/10 is greater than 3/10. So that would be greater than. All right, let's try this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10, or decimal point 7. And now we know these are all 10 little boxes, right? So we can count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 52 hundredths. All right, we can't compare denominators that are not the same, so we have to make this one the same. 10 times what equals 100? 10 times, should we ask John again?
All right, 10.
Mr. Schneider. 10 times 10, right, equals 100. 7 times 10, let's see if we can get this one.
I'm going to go with 70.
Yeah, 70. So, 7/10 is the same as 70 hundredths. So you getting the idea that you can just add a 0 onto the end. And 7/10 compared to 52, or 70 hundredths compared to 52 hundredths, let's see. So we're going to go to our largest place value, which in this case is the tenths column. 7/10 is greater than, equal to, or less than 5/10. So 7 is greater than 5. So it's greater than. All right, let's look over here. Sorry, your largest place value. We have a 3 in the ones column and a 3 in the ones column. So is that going to tell us the answer? No, because they're equal. And we have a 6 in the tenths column. A 6 in the tenths column. Is that going to tell us what's the answer? No. Then we have a 1 in this hundredths and a 7 in this hundredths. So I know that 1 is less than 7. So therefore 3 and 61 hundredths is less than 3 and 67 hundredths. Okay, let's look down here. Start at the largest place value. So we have a 1 in the tens column and a 1 in the tens column. Is that helping us? No. So now we have a 4 in the ones column and a 3 in this ones column. So I don't even have to go on. I don't even have to look at the other numbers because I know that 4 is greater than 3, which means 14 and 73 hundredths is greater than 13 and 69 hundredths. All right, bigger numbers over here. 134. So let's look. We're starting with the hundreds column because that's our biggest place value, our largest, like our one that's worth the most, that has the largest value. So we have 100, 100. Same. We have to move on. 3 tens, 3 tens. Same. 4 ones, 5 ones. I found my column that's different. So 4 is less than 5. So therefore, this whole number is less than this number. But remember, start at the largest place value. All right, let's start here. We have a 6 in the tens column and another 6 in the tens column. Equal. 4 in the ones, 4 in the ones. Equal. We have a 1 in the 10th column. And here we have a 0 in the 10th column. So I know 1 is greater than 0. So therefore 64 and 1/10 is greater than 64 and 1/100. Alrighty, so after this lesson, I'm going to put the links on this assignment, like this post for math. You'll have a link to the Khan Academy video. You'll have a link to the video that I did on Friday for comparing decimals, which were smaller numbers, a little bit easier to figure out. And then obviously you're watching this video, so you got this video. Now you're going to move on to Math IXL, and you're going to do some exercises on comparing decimals. If you're having trouble, keep going over it. You could always send me a message on Edmodo if you need help, and I'll certainly help you. And because we're going to have live groups this week, if you're really stuck on something, you can save that question for me when we meet in the live group. And next week, we're going to be doing live groups every day, so you'll always be able to see me, talk to me. Not in person, but sort of in person. Alrighty? So this was Comparing Decimals, lesson 12-3 in Envisions. And that's it. Have a great day. Bye.